Right, we've got a lot of Metroids to deal with in this area, and I don't want to guess how much ground to cover to do it all. And apparently using the grapple beam as an offensive weapon is a wasted effort, or at least it was for the first thing I tried it on. Can't really find it in me to be all that surprised. The only time I can recall the grapple beam being used for actual offense was Metroid Prime 3. And even then it was a bit questionable. Oh, part of that was probably something to do with the motion controls for that particular move in the game. But then talking about Metroid Prime 3 is pretty far into the future. We've still got this game and 2 other 2D games before getting to the 3D part of the franchise. And this game still has plenty to throw at us. At least if the amount of raw footage I see left in this game is any indication. Again, I'd probably save myself a lot of time and wasted health energy by just knowing when to bypass enemies instead of wanting to clear every run every time. The last 2 games certainly didn't seem to keep track of how many regular enemies we killed on the way to the final battle, so it's literally gaining us nothing at all here. Well, at least the turret can't shoot through the crystals. Here's hoping that's the last of those eggs in this shaft. Okay, what is that block even supposed to be? And will I even remember to come back to this corner when we get whatever upgrade that requires? Okay, now that upgrade was almost insultingly easy compared to many of the other ones we've come across so far. Again, you'd think at this point in the series I'd have learned not to go out of my way to clear every area we run through. Especially since some are areas we go through numerous times. Okay, is there a reason that halls and rooms in the same approximate sector have different background colors? It's not a major thing, I'm just more used to video games having distinct areas dedicated to one thing or another, not seemingly random background transitions. It's not like the changes in background color really affect us on the foreground, though. It's just something that makes me wonder why they made that particular decision. And another of the golden blocks. Again, I've got the distinct feeling we're dealing with more obstacles over the course of this game than either of the previous Metroids we've gone through so far. And the sheer frequency we're running into these obstacles, it's just making them feel kind of obnoxious to me. Kinda surprised that Slug didn't manage to hurt us on the ledge there. And now I can't help wondering just how different Super Smash Bros. Would feel if characters could attack from a ledge like we just did here. Definitely satisfying to counter two enemies at the same time. Mostly because they rarely coordinate their attacks to land so close together. Somehow doubt the next Metroid is in here, but may as well be prepared. Huh. Guess I was wrong, but at least I was prepared for it. Or as prepared as we can be when we don't know what that thing on the wall there is. Okay, so there's another one of those weird things on the wall on the other side of the room? And where the hell's the bloody Metroid? Okay, so the Metroid is in this room, but we don't know how to activate the guy just yet. It's not like we're gonna be able to climb the wall there. Hell, both ends of the room, there's enough of that yellow stuff to prevent us from getting to the ceiling. Just what are you supposed to do when you're in pretty much the right place, but have no idea how to get the proverbial party started? No clue why we've got that small pocket there in the center of the room, either. Okay, so there's a room just below us, and no obvious door for it either. There also seems to be something above us. This side of the sector certainly looks like it's quite the setup. Another chamber that looks like an obvious spot for us to fight against a Metroid. Only still no Metroid. If anything, we've gone further away from the one that was making our sensor go crazy. Right. Guess we're going back down. Annoying, but not quite far enough that I'd call it frustrating, just confusing. Especially since we've never run into this set of circumstances before. Anyway, time to go downwards and see if we can't find a way to the chamber the Metroid is actually hiding in. Preferably reaching said Metroid when at full health. Okay, apparently I decided that going after that random upgrade in this shaft was somehow more urgent than dealing with a Metroid that's so close we could possibly feel the wind as it breathes. Assuming, of course, that Samus can feel wind while in that suit. And I really shouldn't have been surprised that the upgrade further up was blocked by more blocks that we don't know how to destroy just yet. And finally, we've run into the elusive bastard. Are another pair of Metroids going to spawn into the other two chambers when we're done with this one, or does this guy somehow warrant having 3 rooms to himself when we've already killed a few of this particular breed? Right. So he needs multiple rooms then. Sadly enough, he could have just finished us off if he kept up fighting in here. Definitely going to continue having trouble with that particular form for the foreseeable future. Probably wouldn't have been so painful if I'd been willing to use more of the room against the bastard, though. Right, excuse me for fast-forwarding for a bit as I heal up before round 2. It's not like we need to see the healing done in real time anyway, it's just gonna be a long, annoying process. Still, I doubt that Metroid can find a way to heal between rounds like we are here. Seriously, feels like the guy is self-sabotaging here for some reason. Right, that's enough of a break. On to the next chamber. Wait, so he didn't run into this one, but the one just above it? Dear God, this guy has certainly proven to be more trouble than he's worth. As funny as that is in one sense, it's obnoxious in another. I feel like I'm using the word obnoxious far too often, considering this is easily one of the best of the 2D games. Right, hello there. Is this gonna be your last dance out here, or are you planning on making us have a round 3 for you? And once again, the bastard runs when he could have just killed us, considering how badly I was fighting there. Time for another bit of quick healing. Bloody hell, this guy's really going out of his way to pad things out here. And I've got the distinct feeling he's not going to be the only one of these 10 to just make it last longer for the sake of killing time. Back to full health, so let's find the guy for a third time and hopefully end it there. Huh. For some reason I was expecting him to crawl his way out of the wall again. Not flying like a Reaver from Gears of War. And that does it. One down, and he took a lot more effort than he was probably worth. Still, it's not like we can skip any of these bastards. We have to kill each and every Metroid between us and the Queen. And I still have no clue what made Samus decide not to kill the baby at the end of Metroid 2, when the entire reason she was hired is just to slaughter every Metroid on the planet. Not that we ever get to see the contract, to see if she used some loophole abuse to avoid killing something that wasn't explicitly hostile. Just, it kinda itches at me. Wonder how many more times we're gonna have to heal like that just in this clip. Sure, we're over halfway through the clip, but still. Right, still no way to go up from here. And apparently nothing else in this shaft for us whatsoever. Because of course they're gonna spread the 10 out to an annoying degree, since the first one we ran into required 3 damn rooms for his full fight for some reason. Yeesh! Why is it that the 2D game with the best fighting seems to do everything it can to make that fighting kind of annoying? And goes out of its way to make traveling to the fights a pain in the ass. And of course we can't get to those blocks from here. Hell, we can't even get to them without the baby. You know, for some reason, the way this game is set up, I feel less tempted to try to find every upgrade we can than I did in Zero Mission and AM2R. No idea why, especially since it's not like I went out of my way in any of the games to collect absolutely everything in the game. Well, at least I didn't give in to temptation and start hunting down every enemy in the room like I usually do. I suppose that's something. That something is apparently just one slug. Right, time to that block wrong. Probably would have been better to have just moved out of the way. It's not like that acid was coming too fast for us to run from. It's actually a little funny just how few ceilings we've been able to crawl along in this game so far. Again, I certainly remembered that they nerfed the spider ball compared to how it was in AM2R. I just didn't think they'd go this far to weaken the thing. And I didn't think that the Chozo suit would also get nerfed as well when we're expected to go through some more difficult fights over the course of this game. At least with the exception of the bouncing turtle. Again, feel pretty disappointed that this game's version of that fight was so underwhelming compared to the version we faced in the fan remake. In the older game, it felt like a genuine battle against a strong creature, but here, it felt more obligatory than anything else. And in my opinion, the worst thing you can do to a boss in a game is make it feel obligatory instead of fun. After all, bosses are supposed to be highlights for the game, and as one that isn't recurring, the bouncing turtle should have had an advantage over the first four Metroids at the very least. Sorry about that. Accidentally turned on the missiles when I wanted to start swinging. It's a bit late in the game for me to make that kind of mistake, though the fact that turning on missiles just means pushing a button instead of messing around with a touchscreen, that should have made it easier for me to remember. Of course pulling it some more wouldn't have any effect at all. Was kind of hoping we could destroy that thing altogether for some reason. Right, let's finally see where this elevator leads us. Of course, we already know part of what we're in for due to the scan pulse. On third thought, think I'll go to the right anyway. Looks like that room only has one entrance, so there might actually be something interesting in there. My mistake. The only thing in here was a way for us to open a path in the other room to get in here. Still, I suppose that's better than going in this direction and finding a dead end that does absolutely nothing at all. Of course, I've gotten painfully used to dead ends in this game. Oh, now that just felt like a cheap bit of damage. Sure, no threat of it killing us, but it's still a pain and hard to avoid if you don't already know it's there. Anyway, back up to see what path we just opened on the right. Kind of hoping it leads us to an energy tank, but that might just be wishful thinking. Again, haven't seen one of those in this game before, but we're certainly familiar enough with them in the other two games we've gone through. Okay, I suppose that's useful. It'd probably be even more useful if I actually used Aeon energy more liberally. Of course, knowing that I'm being a bit too conservative with this stuff doesn't make me feel any more tempted to use our Aeon, any more than we already have been, considering how well we've been doing. Well, at least I'm smart enough not to drop through the same flamethrower twice in a short period of time. And now we've got a quake that made the thing we're standing on start to break. Just when are those quakes finally gonna mean something as we keep going further and further down? Probably better to check with a pulse to see what we're in for. The Metroid sensor certainly isn't picking up anything, but there's no way a dead end like that is absolutely clear of absolutely anything. Either there's a door to the right we're not seeing, or there's something special in here. Certainly took long enough for one of those shelled critters to die. Definitely getting the sense we're entering a more explicit mining area. Not that we're ever gonna know what those machines are mining specifically. Especially since I doubt anyone has come down here to collect the resources mined here in a long time. I assume that the ice beam would do us some good if we happen to unleash a Balrog or something to that effect as we keep going down. Okay, that's a new kind of projectile. A very annoying one at that, as if the bat wasn't bad enough. And of course, there's another bit of the slick stuff to keep us from spiderballing our way out. Have I mentioned that the obstacles in this game feel downright obnoxious? Because it feels important enough to repeat. Definitely more trouble than it's worth to keep going up for now. And of course, further down we have a Metroid. And I'm not in any condition for that fight. Oh, son of a bitch. Well, at least we're not in the beast's den yet. That should give us some time to heal before the fight. Sure, not much time, but I'll take what I can get. Right, so this one's gonna be another that we have to chase her after for a couple of extra rounds. As much as I appreciate video game enemies running away, maybe it would have been better to pull this card closer to the end of the game, when the things should be reasonably terrified of us. You know, part of me can't help thinking the game should have given us more of a tutorial on how to use the grapple beam in this game. Again, as much as I enjoy this game, it really loves doing things in ways that feel kind of annoying to me. And I suppose what I should do before the next clip is check a thesaurus for its synonym for obnoxious. Because I'm getting the feeling I'm going to be saying that so often that I'm going to become obnoxious as well. Anyway, this is as good a spot as any to save and take a break.